If you're a student, your everyday lunch most likely consists of this, and this. I don't have actual cheese. Well, I'm here to tell you that you can turn this into this, into this. And eat a healthy and delicious lunch for 8 days. Each meal takes 20 minutes to make, so lack of time can't be your excuse. Let's take a look at what we have. Side note, these are the prices in Ljubljana, Slovenia, but most of these ingredients are affordable anywhere you go. We have 1 red bell pepper, a lemon, 4 medium onions, plant-based yogurt, spinach, 2 cans of chickpeas, 2 cans of chopped tomatoes, a can of beans, 2 blocks of tofu, each 350 grams, red lentil pasta or another high-protein pasta, oregano, garlic powder, black pepper, curry powder, ground cumin, smoked paprika, a loaf of whole grain bread, and €2.13 left. I lied when I said you needed 20 euros. Go get yourself a treat. By the way, I'm not including oil and salt in the price. I'm assuming you already have some in your pantry. Alright, I'm already hungry, so let's start cooking. Oh, and stick until the end for extra money-saving tips. Cue the voiceover now. We'll start by heating up some oil on medium-high heat and chopping 1 to 2 medium onions. Let's appreciate my onion cutting skills and my pretty red nails, which will somehow disappear as this video progresses. I promise they're not in the food. Or are they? Add some salt to help the onion sweat and then cut the bell pepper. The smaller the pieces are, the faster it will cook. On to the spices. I'm adding garlic powder, smoked paprika, cumin, oregano and black pepper. Let them toast for a bit and then add the bell pepper. In the meantime, crumble up 1 block of tofu and add it to the pan, followed by 1 can of crushed tomatoes. Then drain a can of beans and add those too. At this point you can taste it and check for salt. Add some more if you feel like it. Mix it well and then you can serve. This takes a total of 18 minutes to prepare and you have enough for 2 to 3 portions. Add a couple of slices of bread to each portion and enjoy! This meal feels like a warm hug. And it has 2 different sources of protein, so it will keep you full for a while. For the next one, we're making pasta, but better. Drain a can of chickpeas and dry them on a kitchen towel. While the pasta is cooking, we'll season the chickpeas with all of the spices at our disposal, plus some oil, so the chickpeas and spices get very friendly. Then we'll transfer them to a baking tray lined with parchment paper and we'll roast them in a preheated oven for about 15 minutes at 220 Celsius or 425 Fahrenheit for you weirdos. Then we'll heat up some oil and, you guessed it, chop up an onion, because every great meal starts with chopping up onion. Fry the onion with some salt, add your spices, and a can of crushed tomatoes and a lot of oregano, because this is still a pasta sauce. As soon as your pasta is al dente, drain it and add it to the pan. By this point, the chickpeas are nice and crispy, so we can go ahead and assemble the dish. Again, this meal makes about 2 to 3 portions and takes less than 20 minutes. To top it all off and have a nice contrast, we'll add a couple of tablespoons of soy yogurt and some more oregano. You can never have too much oregano, unless you're allergic to it, then you can most definitely have too much oregano. And that's it. I love this dish because it's a fun twist on the regular boring pasta and tomato sauce that so many students make. And it has a lot more protein without too much effort. Alright, this next one is my favorite. We'll start by heating up some oil and crumbling up a block of tofu. No onion this time. I promise it's still a great meal. Add the tofu to the pan and for the eggy flavor add some black salt if you have it. If not, regular salt will be okay too. Then add garlic powder, cumin, black pepper, smoked paprika, and a lot of curry powder. Mix it well, let it fry for a few minutes, and then add a few tablespoons of soy yogurt to achieve peak creaminess. Once you've added the yogurt and given it a taste test, you can remove it from the heat and move on to serving. Everybody loves greens, especially when you can't taste them much because the rest of the meal overpowers their flavor. Jokes aside, I actually really like spinach, which is why I chose it for this recipe. It pairs very well with the tofu scramble. I'm gonna go ahead and add some more yogurt on top and, of course, some oregano. On the same pan, I'm gonna toast some bread with olive oil and some garlic powder. Then I'll proceed to be impatient and not let it get crispy enough, so please go ahead and learn from my mistakes. And here it is! It looks beautiful! I love the bright yellow color the curry powder adds to it. I have made many different variations of tofu scramble over the years, but this one is by far my favorite. This is delicious. And for the last meal, we're making a sandwich, because who doesn't like sandwiches? We'll start by toasting some bread in the oven with olive oil and oregano. This step is optional, but if you're a fan of crunch, I would recommend you don't skip it. While the bread is toasting, we'll drain a can of chickpeas and mash it with our hands, because honestly, they are the best tool for this task. If you have a better way, please do let me know. We'll go easier on the spices here and add only salt, pepper and garlic powder. Add the juice of half a lemon for some acidity. Throw the scraps in your designated smelly can and, you guessed it, chop an onion. This time I'm using my fancy new mandolin, which I'm terrified of because I really like my fingers, and I've heard that bloody onion is not much of a delicacy. It's really hard not to cry during this process. Okay, add the onion to the chickpeas and mix well. On to the sauce. Juice that other half of the lemon that you have left, add a generous amount of soy yogurt, then oregano, garlic powder and some salt. Mix until everything is evenly combined. On to plating. Add some of the sauce to the toasted bread, then some fresh spinach and as much of the chickpea mix as you can fit. Press the sandwiches closed nicely and there you go, your new favorite sandwich. Let's hear the crunch. Scratch what I said before, toasting your bread is not optional. And we did it! 4 recipes, at least 8 servings total for under 20 euros. And they say vegan food is expensive. I promised to give you money saving tips, so let's do that. Number 1. Buy frozen fruits and vegetables, especially when they're out of season. They're cheaper and you can store them for longer. Number 2. Buy dry beans and legumes instead of canned ones. Again, they're cheaper and they taste better. It's more time consuming, but you can cook a larger amount and freeze it for up to 3 months. Numero 3. Buy spices in bulk. Check your local Asian, Turkish and Indian stores to get a better price for a better spice. Number 4. Find the cheapest grocery stores in your area and shop there. In Slovenia, those are Hofer, Lidl and Eurospin. And lastly, plan your meals. Going to the grocery store without knowing what you'll cook for the week will result in getting a bunch of random ingredients and having no idea what to make. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Let me know if you want a video on that, on meal planning, not on shooting. We are trying to keep it civil here. And that's all I wanted to say to you today. Happy cooking! Bye!